Welcome to lesson 2 of day 2. So now you have your checklist and you're really excited and you're going to walk around your school. And you're going to be able to tell what people are doing in their classrooms and it's going to be great. So now you know what people are doing and now you can determine if they're using technology integration. So now what do you do? As an administrator, you have to have tough conversations all the time. It's part of your job. Sorry, it's what you signed up for. And selling teachers on technology and holding them accountable to it might be one of those tough conversations. But you can do it. So you walk in and you see this. These were from our last lesson and they were the big no scenarios. Here's what I need you to do. I've been a teacher, I've been an instructional coach, I've been on both sides of this table. Stop. Your first thought is going to be, well, they need professional development, right? Don't assume that. Don't assume. As a teacher, it bothers me whenever I struggle with something and someone says, well, it's because you don't know how, and so therefore you need to learn it. So I'm going to send you to professional development. But in reality, that's usually not the case. So you're going to ask some questions. You're going to have to listen as the administrator. You're going to have to not be the expert in the room for about 10 seconds. It'll be okay, I promise. I'm going to walk you through it. So your first question you're going to ask is, do you have the tools that you need to be successful? And I'm going to tell you a little story about a globe. I was teaching world history to all English language learners. So I have a whole class full of high schoolers, none of whom speak English, and I need to teach about Christopher Columbus opening trade routes to North America. Easy lesson, most people should know that, right? Well, except for these people didn't grow up with an American education, and they didn't. So now I have to teach that this crazy guy from Italy got money from Spain, and he was going to sail west in order to go east. It's a lot of vocabulary, first of all. And I needed to be able to show this. They didn't have the vocabulary to explain it. So I got like a beach ball and I put some post-it notes on it. By second period, all the post-it notes had fallen off. First period, I had no idea what I was talking about. Why in the world did I have a beach ball up there? And so my vice principal, of course, chooses this day to come in, and I'm struggling horribly because none of my awesome plans have worked out. And she said, hey, why didn't that work? And rather than saying, oh, I don't know how to teach about Columbus, I better go to a professional development on teaching history, I said, I don't have a globe. I needed a globe. I needed something to show why you would go this way. I needed a visual. I needed a different tool that I didn't have. So, do you have the tools you need to be successful? Is a great question to ask. Does the technology work? Maybe they had a great plan, but half the computers are broken, and so they can't do it. They had an awesome smartboard lesson that they were going to do. Bulb's broken. So, does the technology work? Do you have the things you need to be successful, and do they work? Here's the big one. What do you need to have effective technology integration in your classroom? You're going to get a lot of answers, and you need to be ready for them. So part of your assignment for the next part is going to be anticipating these answers from your staff and coming up with solutions. So the solution to everything is not professional development. We already covered that. The solution to everything is not to put it on your instructional coach and tell them to teach you something, but is to really listen and solve the problem. So I'm going to give you some common answers that you're going to get. I'm going to start you off on the right foot here. Oh, well, I'm not a tech person. I get this all the time. This is not somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. You can give them all the professional development in the world, and it's not going to mean a thing, because what they need is motivation. They don't know the why. They don't get why this is something they need to learn, why this is important. They're doing just fine as is. Why would I need one more thing? So until you get the motivation part figured out, the professional development part isn't going to stick. I just don't have the time, or I don't have enough planning time, or it takes so much time to learn something new. Something with time. It's the common teacher excuse, and honestly, nobody ever has enough time. You need a planning partner. You need somebody who's teaching the same and or similar subject as you, and you two need to plan together. Divide and conquer. I'm going to do reading stations this week, you're going to do the whole group lesson, and then we're going to share. I promise it works. Sit down, figure it out. It opens up multitudes of your time. Besides, when you get really good at technology, you can use it for your quizzes and your writing, and guess how much time that saves grading. So that's also a good one, is you spend a little time in the beginning, but you save so much time on the other end. Kids just play around on the computers. There's a lot of issues here with this statement, and you're going to get it. Well, they just don't do what I want them to do. They don't stay on the right program. They do other things. This one, you need professional development. This one is the answer. You need professional development, but not necessarily around how to have a computer program, but how to have an engaging lesson so that they're not screwing around. How to have computer controls, how to monitor a classroom of students using computers, how to teach expectations around technology. So it's not necessarily how to create a Nearpod lesson, but it's how to have that successful technology culture in your classroom. And if kids are doing this, I'm going to guess your teacher has some other culture issues, so it might be time for general classroom culture professional development. I don't know what to do. Ta-da! This one is professional development. So this is someone who's saying, I don't have the tools in my toolbox to answer these questions. I don't have the things behind me to make this happen for myself. So all you're doing is you're going to get this teacher some tools in her toolbox or his toolbox. You're going to get them some tricks that they can pull, some programs that they're really good at. So this is professional development on software and technology. So create a plan that solves that real issue. Like we were talking about, the professional development for kids playing around on computers is different than the professional development of I don't know what to do. The approach you would take with somebody who says I'm not a tech person is very different than the approach you take with somebody that says I want to learn, but I don't know how. So create a plan that addresses that key issue and doesn't just say, well, I'm going to teach you how to do a Nearpod. Maybe they know how to do a Nearpod. Maybe Nearpod isn't the right solution for this problem. Create individual plans, just like you would with students. Have realistic expectations. Nobody is an expert on their first day. I can send you to professional development, but if I walk into that class on Monday, guess what? It's not going to be perfect. So you're looking for effort at first. This is a big change. This is a big change to their career. Look for effort first, reward the effort. Don't expect perfection immediately. And get help. Get your instructional coaches on board, get your assistant principals, get your librarian, get your teachers that are really, really good at this. Get them on board with this to be mentors, to teach professional development, to serve as planning partners, to allow other teachers to come into their classroom, to give testimonials about how much time they spent not grading last night because they put it into a Quizlet. Get help. Employ other people. If it's only coming from you, it's not going to be effective. It's got to come from a lot of people. So now this is up to you. For your next assignment, you're going to be looking at questions and answers kind of the same way we just did, anticipating those potential roadblocks that are going to come in your way and what you're going to do about them, coming up with an idea of how you would approach some of these issues that you're already having, how you're going to reward teachers that are doing it well. It probably shouldn't be, stickers, but how can you encourage them to continue exploring and to continue to grow? So looking forward to your next assignment. There's a discussion page, there's an assignment page, and good luck.